Shri Chaitanya Manobhyastam Thapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamanyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutam Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavansham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sanikana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Pavadhetam Pavadhutam Parijana Sahetam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsha Namahom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namene Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Kanchantare Tatarane Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pilayate Krishna in Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurate Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Vapika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaspate Tapta Kancana Gauranga Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hri Vancha Kalpa Karunasya Kripa Sindhu Devata Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivanta Divara Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So yesterday we started our discussion on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, and we could complete the preface, and we started on discussing on the introduction. So the last part of the introduction is the definition of pure devotion service. So today we'll try to discuss this. The last part is this definition of pure devotion service. Here Prabhupada also says, the authorized description of bhakti or devotion service, following in the footsteps of previous acharyas, can be summarized in the following statement by Srila Rupa Goswami. First-class devotion service is known by one's tendency to be fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, serving the Lord favorably. So this is the definition of pure devotion service. And in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, this is the most important verse for all the devotees to understand, because this verse defines the pure devotion service. So this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita it comes. So this is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving teachings to Srila Rupa Goswami at Prayag. So that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks this one. Anya avilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anavitam anukulena krishnanum shilanam bhaktir uttama. So this is pure devotional service. So Acharyas explain why this verse they are quoting in the very beginning itself, in the introduction itself. Srila Rupa Goswami also quotes this verse in the introduction itself. Why? Because all other chapters which will come, like the first chapter itself, the characteristics of your devotion service, and here on. So they all depend on this particular verse. So the characteristics which we will study later on, that the devotion service is place agony, it will remove all the suffering of a devotee. So they all will happen when one is having this standard of devotion service. That's why this verse comes first, that this is what defines pure devotion service. In this particular verse, there are Swarupa Lakshana and Tatastha Lakshana. So Swarupa Lakshana means the primary characteristic of pure devotion service, and Tatastha Lakshana means the secondary characteristic of pure devotion service. So primary characteristics means without those characteristics, this definition cannot exist only. Like if that is missing, then you cannot call it as pure devotion service. Secondary characteristics mean that they enhance more the aspect of pure devotion service. So, like suppose somebody says that, oh, you want to go to ISKCON Kanpur, then you can come to Singapore. Then from Singapore you walk straight, then you will reach to Jain International School. And then on the top of Jain International School, during evening time, when you reach, you will find a crow, and that crow will be facing towards the ISKCON temple. And then you follow that direction and you come to ISKCON Kanpur. So now reaching to Singapore, coming to Jain International School, they are like primary characteristics. Without them, one cannot reach only ISKCON Kanpur. But a crow sitting on the top of Jain International School, facing towards ISKCON Kanpur, may not always be there. That is a secondary characteristic. If he is there, that is good. If not there, then also no problem. So secondary characteristics, they add more to the primary characteristics. But primary characteristics means they are the foundational characteristics without which the definition only will not exist. You cannot call it as pure devotion service. So in this also, this the last two, Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktir Uttamaha. So this Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam, this is the primary characteristic, the Swarupa Lakshana of pure devotion service. And then Anya Avilashita Sunyam Gyan Karmadi Anavitam. This is the secondary characteristic of pure devotion service. These are Swarupa Lakshan, Anukulena, Krishna, Anushilanam. And then Anya Avilasita Sunyam, Gyan Karmadi, Anavitam. So they are the Tatastha Lakshan, the secondary characteristics. So now we'll discuss Swarupa Lakshana first. In Swarupa Lakshana, there are three words. Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam. So Anukulena. So Anukulena means favorably disposed towards Krishna. So in this primary characteristics also, Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam. In this also the most important word is Krishna. This Rupa Goswami speaks, and Rupa. Here, Rupa, after speaking this, So here, Prabhupada talks about this word, Krishna. So among the primary characteristics also, Anukulena, Krishnanu, Shiranam, the word Krishna is very important. So here Krishna does not mean just Krishna alone, he is always with his associate. So when we say this word Krishna, what it means? So one thing is, if somebody says, oh, Krishna means only Krishna, then definition may appear to be too exclusive. And if somebody says Krishna includes everything and everything, then it may appear too inclusive. So what actually this word Krishna means? So Prabhupada, in the purport, he's saying, in the commentary here, he's saying that Krishna does not mean Krishna alone. He is always with his associates and paraphernalia. And other places, Prabhupada, when you hear the Srila Prabhupada lectures on NOD, so Prabhupada actually clarifies that this word Krishna means the incarnations of the Lord and means the pure devotees. So anything which is directly connected to Krishna is included in this word Krishna. So this makes this word neither too inclusive nor too exclusive. So this is how Srila Prabhupada defines this word Krishna, that neither too inclusive in the sense everything is Krishna, nor too exclusive that only Krishna. So Krishna means Krishna, the incarnations and the pure devotees and everything which is directly connected to Krishna. So that is the meaning of this word Krishna. So now, Anukulena means favorably, pleasing to Krishna, performed with the intention to please Krishna. So here this word Anukulena, so here this favorably has a very subtle meaning in the sense one should have an intention to please Krishna. There are two things. One thing is, I suppose somebody is playing Mridanga. So he is playing Mridanga, that is giving pleasure to Krishna. But he may not be playing Mridanga with a desire to give pleasure to Krishna or with the intention to give pleasure to Krishna. So his playing Mridanga is giving pleasure to Krishna because Krishna feels very happy Mridanga baja rahe hain. But that will not be pure devotion service on the part of a person who is playing Mridanga because he is not playing Mridanga with a desire to give pleasure to Krishna. He may be playing Mridanga to show to others that see how good a Mridanga player I am. So that is why any devotional activity done with the intention to give pleasure to Krishna, that is very important aspect. So in this primary characteristics also, the first important characteristic or aspect is Krishna. It should be directed towards Krishna. And second is Anukulena. One should have a intention to give pleasure to Krishna. That is very important. So that's why it is known as favorably, pleasing to Krishna. And that means performed with intention to please Krishna. And then this Anushilanam. So Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam. So Shilanam means activity. So activities, they are of two types. One is positive and negative. Srila Prabhupada, in the book itself, it speaks about all these things. Here you see, devotional service is a sort of cultivation. Here Prabhupada is speaking about Anushilanam. So it is not simply inaction. For people who like to be inactive or devote their time to silent meditation. In India, some people have this kind of conception about bhakti, that devotion service or bhakti means you have nothing to do and you just pass your time. So people have a kind of understanding that bhakti means inaction. But here the word itself is saying silanam. Silanam means activity. So as soon as you say cultivation, it refers to activity. And then Prabhupada writes very nice. He says, without consciousness, without activity, consciousness alone cannot help us. Now all activities can be divided in two parts. So there are activities which will help us to achieve our goal, and there are activities which will take us away from the goal. So this Chirana means both. Accepting those activities which will take us closer to the goal and rejecting those activities which will take us away from the goal. So Pravarti Mar and Nivarti. So Pravarti means positive activities that we should take up, and Nivarti means negative things which may disturb our devotional service that we should reject. So Dasha Prabhupada is quoting these two words also, Pravarti and Nivarti, positive and negative action. And Srila Prabhupada is giving very simple example to understand. Like a diseased person goes to a doctor, so he gives him medicine, that is Pravarti, that take this medicine. And he will also tell him that you should avoid eating all this. So that is Nivarti. So he follows both the medicines also which are given and the prohibitions also which are given by the doctor. So prescription and prohibition, both he has to follow. If he is following prescription but not following prohibition, then he will not be cured. He may take the medicine, but then the effect will not come. And if he is not taking the medicine only and he is just following the prohibition, then also it will not work. So for medicine to work properly or for him to get cured properly, both things are important. So that's why Srila Prabhupada is saying Pravarti and Nivarti, positive and negative action. Now any activity we do is done with our body, mind and words, right? So these aspects of thinking, feeling, willing, these are the functions of the mind. And when we will thinking, feeling and willing are all the activities of the mind. And when we will to do something, the activity comes to be manifest by the gross bodily senses. So first is thinking, then feeling, and then willing. So when we are willing to do something, then the activities from mental platform takes the shape of engaging our gross senses or bodily senses. Thus, in our mental activities, we should always try to think of Krishna and try to plan how to please him. So the pure devotion service has this very important aspect. See, generally in a conditioned state, our mind is always filled with thoughts of how to give pleasure to oneself. So our always mental thought is having I in the center. But if we want to practice pure devotion service, then we have to start working upon to replace this I with Krishna. So instead of thinking always what will please me, we have to think what will please Krishna. That is the mental activity of a devotee who wants to practice pure devotion service. So activity he is defining at three levels because we do by body, mind and word. So first at level of mind it has to come. So at level of a mind, our thought, thinking and feeling has to be what should I do to give pleasure to Krishna? Or whatever I am doing, is it giving pleasure to Krishna? So in one way, if you see deeply, it is not easy to practice pure devotional service. Many times devotees may feel, Prabhuji, I am chanting, but not much is happening. I am doing bhakti, but not much is happening. So we have to introspect and analyze and see for yourself that how much our bhakti is close to this definition of pure devotion service. So for most of us, we are very far away and we have to strive very sincerely to come closer to this aspect of pure devotion service. And then you will find the bhakti is very powerful. The process of pure devotion service is very powerful and very rewarding also, provided we are performing pure devotional service. So first at level of mind, we have to replace our thinking, feeling from what will please me to what will please Krishna. And then when it manifests into the gross activities, then in action we are trying to do an activity which will please Krishna. So like that, Srila Prabhupada is speaking here. So like a person is engaged in the preaching the glories of the Lord, that is kirtana, it is coming out, right? And then Prabhupada is saying, and by his mind, a Krishna conscious person always thinks of activities of the Lord. And then, so in the mind, he is always thinking of the activities of the Lord and is also thinking about how to please Krishna. And then Prabhupada writes very beautiful line. This is the mental culture of Krishna consciousness. So mind is engaging how? One is thinking about Krishna's pastimes. Second is thinking how to please Krishna. So this aspect of how to please Krishna is manifested in his gross actions also. And other aspect of thinking about the pastimes of the Lord is mental offering to the Supreme Lord. So this is Anushilanam. So now in this Anushilanam there are two words. One is Anu and then Shilanam. So Shilanam means activity which we discussed till now. Activity which will be done using our mind, body and word. Now Anu, so these activities we are doing, we may have Anukulena also and Shilanam also and Krishna also. So Krishna means we are trying to do these activities for Krishna. Anukulena means I am trying to do these activities for pleasure of the Lord. That is Anukulena. And Shilana means I am actually actively engaging my mind and senses to do something to give pleasure to Krishna. But all these activities will not become spiritual unless this Anu is there. So what is Anu? Anu means the connection with Guru Parampara which connects our activities to Krishna. Then only it becomes pure devotional service. So here it is mentioned, all these activities should be in relationship with Krishna. And how that relationship is established? That is mentioned, that relationship is established by connecting with a bona fide spiritual master, which is a direct representative of Krishna in the disciplic succession. So therefore, the execution of Krishna conscious activities with the body should be directed by the spiritual master and then performed with faith. The connection with the spiritual master is called initiation. From the date of initiation by the spiritual master, the connection between Krishna and a person cultivating Krishna consciousness is established. Without initiation by a bona fide spiritual master, the actual connection with Krishna consciousness is never performed. So now these activities which we are doing, they become spiritual when we are connected to the bona fide Guru Sampradaya. And that happens by connecting to a spiritual master. So when we perform Silanam, that means activities under the direction of the spiritual master, and those activities, they become spiritual. So now whenever actually these words, they come about spiritual master. So in ISKCON, to understand this aspect is a little difficult. Sometimes devotees, they hear, because Srila Prabhupada himself writes many places, you have to serve under spiritual master, serve under spiritual master. So now when we see the ISKCON setting, then devotees feel, oh, what should I do? How I can serve the spiritual master and be under him? So we have to understand that we are a preaching movement. And Srila Prabhupada himself, when he was preaching, so you will find initially, when Srila Prabhupada started his movement in America, so initially you will find Prabhupada, the initial devotees who came in touch with Srila Prabhupada, so he was giving personal time to them, and they were directly connected to him also. But later on, as devotees increased, so although Srila Prabhupada was only giving initiation to everyone, He was only the spiritual master to everyone. But then whenever they would approach for any concern, Prabhupada would tell them, you can approach that senior god brother. Or he started telling in that temple, he's serving as a temple president, you can approach him like that. So because we are a preaching movement, so one spiritual master has many disciples. So that's why then one may feel, oh, then how to practice this principle. So Prabhupada also during his time, he empowered younger devotees to take guidance from senior devotees, and in that way follow this principle of Anushilanam. So how in ISKCON this happens? We have spiritual masters, and one should choose the spiritual master for whom he has a natural inclination. And it is mentioned in the scriptures in Uddesa Amrit that one should try and see by understanding that the spiritual master is a pure devotee of the Lord, he is Uttamadhikari, and disciple has a faith that by connecting to him, I can go back home, back to Godhead. So like that, one chooses spiritual master for whom he has natural attraction and is driving lot of spiritual inspiration. So in ISKCON setting, we'll see what is the role of spiritual master. So they become Diksha Gurus, and they spiritually inspire disciples. How? By their example, by their Vani. These two are mainly. So spiritual masters, they act as Diksha Gurus, and then they spiritually inspire disciples by their example, their Vani, etc. And disciples also get some opportunity to have their association by attending their Vyas pujas and their yatras. So like that, the Diksha Gurus, they serve. Then there are Shiksha Gurus. Diksha Guru is one. And there are Shiksha Gurus. Shiksha Gurus are many. So in ISKCON, you will find we have a culture of hearing from many bona fide devotees, right? You'll find we keep calling so many senior devotees, and in temple also so many devotees. They give Bhagavatam classes. In camps also we get to hear from multiple devotees. So there is we have culture of hearing from many bona fide devotees. In that way, we have many Shiksha Gurus. So like in case of Ramanujacharya also you find that his Diksha Guru was Mahapurna. He took mantra from Goshti-purna. He learned Ramayana from Shelapurna. He learned music from Vararanga. Then he had a friendly relationship and a kind of person with whom he could reveal his heart and have open discussion. That was Kanchipuram. Like that, he had many gurus apart from one Diksha Guru. So in ISKCON also devotees have many relationship with many devotees, and they learn different things from different devotees. At the same time, each devotee should have at least one. to whom they are accountable. This is very important, that because now, although we may take guidance from all, and we may hear from all, but then some devotee should be there to whom we are accountable. So then we can very nicely follow this principle of Anushilanam. So, like in our temple scenario, we have some younger devotees who guide as caretaker. So generally for all small things, the new devotees who come, they take guidance from caretaker. But for more kind of serious things like choosing ashram or choosing spiritual master, then they discuss with the counselors, those who are serving as counselors. Now, in some cases, there are some complex things, or there are more details involved in relation to choosing guru or in relation to choosing ashram or some other spiritual difficulties. So then they go to more senior devotees, more senior counselors. And then suppose there also the matter is such that it needs more higher guidance. Then we bring the matter to Premaranam Prabhu, who is serving as a temple president here. But suppose matter is more complex, then we take to Radhesham Prabhu also or some other senior devotee also. So in that way, we are accountable also, we get timely guidance also, and we are able to follow also. Now problem happens when the disciple is immature. When disciple is immature, then what happens is he sees everyone disconnected to each other. When disciple is mature, then he will see Prabhupada, his spiritual master, temple authority, his counselor, other senior devotees as one unit. That they are trying to help me to go closer to Krishna. But when he sees with a separate vision, then he feel, oh, my guru is telling like this, why the authorities are telling like this, or authorities are telling like this, guru is telling like this. And most of such devotees are having an attitude to not follow anyone. So they end up pleasing none, and most of the time later on they face a lot of difficulties. But those who are mature, they understand that how all of them are one, and they try to please all of them. They try to see that how I understand this, and I try to please all the devotees. So you would find that they are able to please everyone because it is natural. Like now, suppose even if somebody goes to a guru, that my Guru Maharaj, मेरे को ये समस्या हो रही है. Now, naturally, Guru Maharaj, he will ask the local devotees here कि प्रभु ये devotee का ऐसा आ रहा है, क्या concern है, क्या है. And then local devotee will tell Maharaj actually matter ये है, इन्होंने ऐसा किया, वैसा हुआ, ये हुआ, वो हुआ. Is it not? And then Guru Maharaj will tell, okay, I spoke to him, you can go to him, he will guide you. Because there are so many details involved, is it not? Same way, when the local devotees find that the matter is too serious, it should be referred to the spiritual master. Then they will take the disciple to the spiritual master कि महाराज ये सब हुआ है, अभी आप बताइए क्या करना चाहिए. Correct? So if we don't have a nature to jump over our superiors, then we get very nice guidance and following of Anushilan. But those who have nature to jump over, you will find after some time they will have difficulty to follow spiritual master also. So this Anushilanam is very important aspect. This will help us to have our activities as spiritual. Even in material world, you will find if a soldier is being asked that you go on the border and shoot, fight. Now suppose if the soldier dies at that time, so he is rewarded, and all the family and all they are given some compensation. But suppose army is stationed at Udhampur, and midnight the soldier just on his own walks out and goes on the border and starts shooting and is killed. He will not be rewarded. He will be ridiculed. Why this fellow went without being told? Is it not? Even on material life we see, if somebody is following, then he gets the mercy of those people and he is rewarded. But if he does anything on his own, which may be right also. He might have gone on the border and might have done something good. But then he's not uh, kind of rewarded or neither that is appreciated like that. So here it is mentioned that is Anu. Anu means connecting with Krishna. So this happens, and then Rupa says, so cultivation of Krishna consciousness is not material. The living entities are marginal potency. So either they serve under external energy or internal energy. So when we connect to Guru Sampradaya, Guru Parampara, then it becomes that we are serving under internal energy of the Lord. So Prabhupada is quoting that how one who is bona fide, one who is fortunate, he comes in contact with a bona fide spiritual master. And one who is serious about his spiritual life, to him Krishna gives the intelligence to come in contact with the spiritual master. And then he becomes advanced because he serves under and his activities become spiritualized. Like that, Srila Prabhupada talks about Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam. So here Anu means these two words, following and constantly. So following means under the shelter of Guru Parampara, and constantly means without any breakage. Like you find another definition of pure devotion service in the first canto itself. Savai pumso paro dharmo yato bhakti adoksavi ahetuki apretata ya atma su prasidati. So ahetuki means uh, no motivation, that is compared to anya bilashita. And apratiyata means no breakage, no interruptions, that is anu, constantly. So no matter what happens, the devotee day and night, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, does his devotional service. That is anu. So whatever is being told by the spiritual master, like in our case, getting up early, doing Mangalarti, chanting 16 rounds, following four regulatory principles, regularly reading Srila Prabhupada's books. So that is aspect of anu. And especially in this, those which we take vow are most important. Like other things, suppose because of your health or because of some situation you could not get up early, or because of some other reason you could not read Prabhupada's book, uh, you missed 1 day, 2 day, or for some time. But especially those which we take vow in front of the spiritual master, which in ISKCON we take that I will chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra daily on beach. And second is following four regular principles. So these two are the your like foundational principles which connect you to the Guru Parampara. If somebody breaks one of them, then his connection is lost. Then he is no more a devotee connected to Guru Parampara. He is not having any spiritual energy backing him. So this is the foundational connecting vows which we take, which we promise to the spiritual master that I will chant daily 16 rounds on the beach and I will follow four regular principles. So we have to constantly do this. And anu means following. So these two definitions. And shilana means activity. So anukulena, devotional service intended to please Krishna. So as I was saying, pleasing Krishna, having a desire to please Krishna is more important. So example is given like in case of we find in case of demons. In one way they are giving pleasure to Krishna because Krishna is enjoying Veera Ras. But they don't have desire to give pleasure to Krishna. A Chanur Mushtaq, they are having a Malla Yuddha with Krishna and they are punching upon, beating and hitting on the body of the Lord. And Lord is feeling very happy that Jai, finally I got Veeras to experience, and Lord also is hitting back. But Chanur and Mustik will not come under the category of pure devotees because they don't have that intention to give pleasure to Krishna. Whereas Yashoda Maya is having a stick in the hand and is threatening Krishna and is wanting to beat Krishna, and Krishna is having tears in the eyes. So it appears that Krishna is displeased with Mother Yashoda. Krishna is unhappy with Mother Yashoda. But still, she comes in the category of pure devotees. Why? Because her intention is not to harm Krishna, her intention is not to displease Krishna, but her intention is to please Krishna, to protect Krishna. So that is why more than actually Krishna getting pleased or not, more important is what is a devotee's intention. So that is why this anukulena connects to the intention of the devotee, whether he actually want to give pleasure to Krishna. And this is very special. See, in Karma Kanda and all what happens, everything is based on the rules. Like you will find there are verses कि अगर एक बूंद भी चरणामृत का जमीन पे गिर जाएगा तो कई जन्मों के लिए उसको नरक में जाना पड़ेगा. ये सब किसके लिए है? कर्म कांडियों के लिए. उनको लिए सब पूरा जो है रूल से वो बंधे रहते हैं. लेकिन जो डिवोटीज हैं वो प्रचार के लिए जाते हैं, कई बार पूरा चरणामृत में बकेट भर के लेके जाते हैं और गिराते गिराते भी हो जाता है कई बार. लेकिन उनका इंटेंशन नहीं है गिराना, वो असली में तो उसको बांटना चाहते हैं बाकी लोगों से. क्योंकि वो इंटेंशन वैसा है, इसलिए उनके उनके ऊपर ये जो श्लोका हैं जो कर्मकांड के विधियों में बताया गया है वो उन पर लागू नहीं होते. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि डिवोटीज को गिराना चाहिए. दे ऑल्सो शुड बी वेरी केयरफुल. बट पॉइंट इज कृष्णा सीज द इंटेंशन ऑफ अ डिवोटी दैट ही genuinely want to serve others. He genuinely want to do something for pleasing me. बट हो सकता है किसी डिवोटी ने बहुत अच्छा सब्जी बनाया, बहुत प्रेम से बनाया, भगवान को ऑफर करना चाह रहा है, लेकिन उसमें नमक डालना भूल गया और भगवान को ऑफर कर दिया. भगवान एक्सेप्ट कर लेंगे उसको क्योंकि उसने प्रेम से किया है. लेकिन जो कर्म कांडी रहते हैं, जो देवी देवताओं की पूजा करते हैं, कुछ भौतिक इच्छा से वो करते हैं, और वो जो कुछ बना रहे हैं कि हमें इसको ऑफर करूंगा फिर उससे भगवान से मांग लूंगा, उसमें नमक कम हो गया तो भगवान डांटेंगे, अरे क्या है, उनके देवी देवता नाराज हो जाएंगे. ऐसा. क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ पर इंटेंशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो अनुकूलेना रेफर्स टू द इंटेंशन. हियर the last line is this shows the favorable intention is of prime importance in executing devotional service. And then Anu, we discussed that how Anu is something which connects our activities with Krishna. And devotion service, they are direct under the internal energy of the Lord. So any activity done in the devotion service or in Krishna consciousness are directly under the control of spiritual energy. Srila Prabhupada sums it up. In other words, energy is a sort of strength. And this strength can be spiritualized by the mercy of bona fide spiritual master and Krishna. So, externally it may appear some devotee who is following Guru Parampara and is engaged in some activity. Externally, one may not be able to see the difference, but there is a lot of difference. A non-devotee working or doing same activity, a devotee doing same activity. Like Arjuna and Duryodhan, both are engaged in the same kind of warfare. Externally, it appears both are fighting, both are warriors, but lot of difference. Arjuna is a pure devotee and Duryodhan is a pure non-devotee. We see so much difference is there in the two. Although externally the activities are same. And then there are tatastha lakshan. So anya avilashita sunyam. So anya avilashita means free from any other desire. That is anya avilasita sunyam. Prabhupada writes in the book. So Prabhupada, he writes here, any other desire than pleasing Krishna is a material desire, like that Prabhupada writes very strong. And I'm not getting from where it comes. Prabhupada says, any desire other than pleasing Krishna is a material desire. So like that, Shrapupa, he writes there. So Anya Abhilasita Sunya means not having any other desire. Now, here this word is there, Abhilasha. So Abhilasha means desire and Abhilashita means motive. So this Chilla Jiva Goswami analyzes this very nicely and he says that in this, if you see, there are three words. One is Anya, then Abhilasha, and then Ita. So it could have been Anya Abhilasha Sunyam also. But instead he puts Anya Abhilashita Sunyam. So the moment it becomes Abhilashita, it becomes motive, and Abhilasha means desire. So when we say that one should not have any other desire than serving Krishna or pleasing Krishna, means one should not have any other motive. And this ita means sometimes, like we see in case of Draupadi, when she was in difficulty and she started calling out for help, Krishna, hey Govinda, hey Murari, hey Gopal, help me. So because Draupadi called for her help, so does it mean that she is outside the purview of being a pure devotee? No, she is still a pure devotee of the Lord. Why? Because that is not her motive. So motive means how to understand this. What is the constant desire in your heart? Like suppose a devotee always has an intention, I want to just please Krishna. I want to just please Krishna. But momentarily, in some provoking situation or in some difficult situation, he happened to call out, oh Krishna, please save me. But that is not his consistent desire. Only in that moment, because of some difficulty, it came. And then Krishna comes and saves him or does the needful. Then again he is, oh Krishna, I want to please him, I want to serve. So momentarily some desire coming like this because of some situation does not remove a devotee outside the purview of being a pure devotee. That's why this word is used, ita. So abhilashita means what is the motive of that devotee. So motive of that devotee is I want to give pleasure to Krishna. So this I already explained. So no other desire, simply he wants to please Krishna. So he is engaged in so many activities for the pleasure of the Lord. And then Gyan Karmadi Anavitam. So Gyan Karm Adi Anavitam. So here it is not mentioned Gyan Karm Adi Sunya. So Anavitam is not covered. Our devotion service should not be covered by Jnana, Karma and Adi. तो आदि में क्या क्या आता है? False renunciation or artificial detachment, mystic yoga, astrology, etc. And then Jnana is impersonal philosophy and Karma is fruitive activity. So our devotion service should be free from any other desire and should not be covered with these things. Jnana, Karma, Adi. So now Jnana. So Jnana means it is not that one must completely rule out all philosophical speculation. तो कौन सा ज्ञाना जो है उससे कवर नहीं होना चाहिए? वो ज्ञाना जो इम्पर्सनलिज्म की तरफ लेके जाता है. There is no harm in cultivating knowledge about Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, but that jnana which takes one to the impersonal conclusion, that jnana one has to avoid. The ultimate end of philosophical speculation then must be Krishna. So end of what you are studying or getting knowledge should be two things. One is understanding Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and second thing is I have to submit to Krishna and his devotees. If our knowledge is bringing these two conclusions, that Krishna is the Lord and I have to be servant and submissive to him and his devotees, then that jnana is very nice. But sometimes we hear one category is a devotee may start pursuing some jnana and then they develop impersonal tendency. One of the reasons why Ramchandra Puri started offending his Guru Madhavendra Puri, because he came on a tour and he came to Varanasi. There in Varanasi, he associated with Mayavadi sannyasis. And because of that association, he developed impersonal tendency. And that's why when he came to Madhavendra Puri, he suggested him, Arey, why you are crying? You meditate on Brahman, at least you will achieve Brahman. And Madhavendra Puri says, my Lord, at this time you are reminding me of Brahman, get lost from here. Like that. So this is one aspect. Second is we see sometimes devotees on the name of reading Acharya's commentaries or going deep in the scriptures, learning Sanskrit. So they learn Sanskrit, they read too much Acharya's commentaries, and then they start finding fault in the Prabhupada books only, thinking that I have understood more, and this word is not properly translated, and this could have been better. So what happens is they are losing a second aspect. That is, the knowledge should help them to have submission to Hari, Guru, and Vaishnava. So if our jnana is not leading to these two, then there is some problem in the jnana. Our bhakti is getting covered by that jnana. Like, we have to see that our jnana should strengthen our resolve that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Strengthen our faith. Krishna is everything for me. And it should help us to have more humility, to increase our submission and surrender to Hari, Guru, and Vaishnava. So this is jnana. And then karma. So karma means all the ritualistic activities which are mentioned. So mainly they are done for getting some material things. So one may engage in ordinary social and religious activities, but such engagement must not become more prominent than one's engagement in direct bhakti. If such activities overshadow one's attention to devotional activities like hearing and chanting, they cover one's devotional attitude and disqualify him from pure devotional activity. There are many persons who are very much attracted by the ritualistic activities described in the Vedas. But if one becomes attracted simply to the ritualistic activities without understanding Krishna, his activities are unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. An example of ritualistic activities that do not cover devotional service are those performed simply out of social convention, such as Lord Chaitanya offering pinda upon the death of his father. So there are many ritualistic activities, like here it is mentioned the pindadan which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed. So he performed just as a social custom, lok lajja we say. But his main faith is in the devotional service. So there are many ritualistic customs like this which are mentioned in the scriptures. But a devotee should not have more faith in them. It is mentioned about Amrish Maharaj also, he would take part in yajnas and other ritualistic performance. But he had faith that for me Krishna is everything. But as an social custom, he would take part in all. So devotee should not feel, oh, ये नहीं करूँगा तो पता नहीं क्या होगा, forefather का घर में ये वाली पूजा नहीं करेंगे तो पता नहीं इसका क्या होगा. We have to have faith that I am engaged in the process of pure devotional service, and Krishna will take care, like that. An example of activity that might cover devotional service is astrology. Although it can be of some useful purpose, but a devotee may gradually put more faith in the power of destiny than in the power of bhakti, and thus impede and cover his surrender to Krishna. तो डिवोटी जो है बोल सकता है प्रभु अभी देखो मेरे को कितना सक्सेस मिल रहा है, अभी मेरा जो है सूर्य देवता चौथे ग्रह में है और मेरा अगले 6 साल के लिए सक्सेस ही सक्सेस मिलेगा. और फिर कुछ चैलेंजेस आएगा तो बोलेगा प्रभु राहु का चल रहा है, राहु आ गया चौथे घर में, अब पता नहीं क्या होगा, मेरा पेंटिंग भी नहीं हो रहा है, एनीवेज होना ही था, अब तो राहु आ गया, क्या कर सकते हैं. तो दे बिकम वेरी कैलकुलेटिव ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ डेस्टिनी. एक हमारे डिवोटी थे रिसेंटली हैं, तो उन्होंने क्या किया, उनको थोड़ा लस्टी फीलिंग्स इत्यादि आ रही थी लाइफ में, और एक लड़की ने भी उनको प्रपोज किया, ब्रह्मचारी हैं, तो उनके मन में थोड़ा सा विचार आने लग गए, अरे ऐसा मौका दोबारा कहाँ. तो उन्होंने चैट जीपीटी पे भी डाला अपना सब डिटेल्स. चैट जीपीटी से पूछा मेरे को क्या करना चाहिए, गृहस्थ आश्रम में जाना चाहिए, ब्रह्मचारी आश्रम में जाना चाहिए. तो चैट जीपीटी ने उनको बोला प्रभु जी यू शुड गो टू गृहस्थ आश्रम, प्रभु जी योर डेस्टिनी इज लाइक दैट प्रभु जी. चैट जीपीटी ने उनको पूरा बताया कि कैसे आपके में तो मैरिज लिखा है और आप जो है गृहस्थ आश्रम में जाना चाहिए। मेरे को एक्सप्रेस किए तो मैं उनको बोला, प्रभु अगर आपका विश्वास चैट जीपीटी पे ज्यादा है या आपके एस्ट्रोलॉजी पे ज्यादा है तो आप मैरिज करो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं। और अगर भगवान पे निर्भरता का जीवन जीना है तो भगवान पे निर्भर रहकर जीवन जियो। फिर उन्होंने काफी कुछ लेक्चर सुने, भागवतम पढ़ा। फिर उन्होंने कन्विक्शन अपना बना लिया कि नहीं पूरी मैं मैरिज नहीं करूंगा और जो है भक्ति करूंगा। तो कई बार डिवोटीज अफेक्ट हो जाते हैं सब चीजों से कि मेरे जन्म में तो ज्यादा भक्ति लिखा ही नहीं है, मेरा तो एस्ट्रोलॉजी में ऐसा ऐसा बता रखा है। तो भक्ति का कोई कनेक्शन नहीं है, भक्ति डायरेक्ट इंटरनल पोटेंसी के संपर्क में है। और एस्ट्रोलॉजी हमको रेफर भी नहीं करना चाहिए, रेयर केस में रेफर करना चाहिए जहाँ वो भी ग्रस्ता डिवोटीज को, जहाँ पर उनको कैरियर में दिक्कत हो रही है या बहुत इलाज करा रहे हैं लेकिन ठीक नहीं हो रहे हैं। तो ऐसे ओकेजनल केस में रेफर करना चाहिए, वो भी अंडर गाइडेंस ऑफ सम डिवोटी। आई थिंक दिस विल टेक टाइम। ठीक है, विल कंटिन्यू दिस मोस्टली नेक्स्ट क्लास। दिस इज मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट वर्क, so that's why we need to give more time to this. So next class we'll try to complete this one. Hare Krishna. Any query anyone has? I can ask.
Please.
Yes, Lakshmi.
Which this Jnanatinmadhyanavrtam, this comes under secondary characteristics or only primary characteristic only?
No, secondary category.
Okay. And also, Guruji, you told one statement like if a disciple is immature, then he sees spiritual group or spiritual master all separate. So how like currently now I see whenever I hear lecture, it seems separate only for me. So how do I see like, or how can I go to the situation that I can see all as one?
Yeah, see, all spiritual masters in ISKCON, they represent Srila Prabhupada, and on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, they do that service. You will find all the spiritual masters in ISKCON, they encourage all their disciples to read Prabhupada books. They encourage all their disciples to do those services which Prabhupada wants and to serve at local places. They encourage disciples to hear Prabhupada lectures or to understand the mood of Srila Prabhupada. So in that way, if you see, they are one unit only. Is it not? No spiritual master in ISKCON will say something else than what Prabhupada said, is it not? Neither he would want something else than what Prabhupada wanted, like that. And we have to see that we have to see at Prabhupada and our spiritual master as one unit. And if suppose our spiritual master says something which is not in line with what Prabhupada is saying, then actually we can clarify also with some senior devotees or with the spiritual master also.
This process. Understood.
And you find our all spiritual masters, they fully align, and because they see themselves as servant of Srila Prabhupada. And same way they uh, give those teachings down the line. And that's how our parampara will continue.
Prabhuji, I had one question.
Mhm.
In this verse, it's mentioned Anukulena Krishnanu, and we discussed that Krishnanu means not alone Krishna, but Krishna along with his paraphernalia. So this understanding is only in the purview of this verse, or is it like a general understanding? How do we approach this word Krishna in that?
So here this Anu is with Shilanam. Anukulena Krishna Anu Shilanam. So only word Krishna, whenever it comes, Prabhupada says Krishna includes Krishna also, his incarnations also, like Lord Ram, Lord Nrsimha, and so, and his pure devotees, and things which are directly connected to Krishna. Like Vrindavan is place of the Lord, directly connected to Krishna, so it's not different from the Lord, like that. Got it?
Yes, Prabhu.
Whenever word Krishna comes, it applies.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much. We'll end here. Prabhupada ki jai.